Just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your patience. I think I'm through most of the worst part of whatever bug I had. It was kind of the perfect storm with when you're doing packing and moving, you kick up all sorts of dust and nasty stuff, and then the exertion, the sweating, and plus the weather was absolutely still is terrible for Florida. So anyway, even as bad as I was, though, I'm not doing as bad as this guy. And laying here trying to recover, it got me thinking about something. Looking into Antarctica, we see a lot of images that really don't make sense, especially with all the serpent images, and the two things really don't go together. The reason the iguanas were falling out of the trees was because the temperature was dipping into the high 30s and in some places the low 20s at night. And serpents can't maintain their body heat. They have to eat or they have to use the sun. And it kind of actually reminded me of a scripture from the Bible that I think might have been misinterpreted. When Eve was tempted in Genesis and God spoke to the serpent after this event, he said, "On thy belly thou shalt go." Now, many have thought that the serpent was a snake and that meant he had to slither. I wonder if what was really being said there was that the serpent was being made cold-blooded, that it had to eat. On thy belly thou shalt go. This is the entire scripture here. And thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Now, there's a lot more to this scripture. There's all sorts of biblical prophecy that's involved with Genesis 3, and I'm not going to go into all of that, but it might be something where we can actually now show definitively that it wasn't 57 trillion years ago that these things were happening. Because you would have to ask a question to those who are saying that it was that long ago, over that period of time, that there were dinosaurs. How could that have been with all of the cold snaps? And there's a huge list of them. It would have killed them. They wouldn't have had to been gotten rid of by an asteroid hitting something. Just the ebb and flow. And the places that they have found the bones don't make any sense because they would have been frozen over for a long time. But I also remembered something else. We know that bears hibernate, but so do cold-blooded animals when it gets cold. Turtles are notorious, and some frogs, for being able to survive long periods of really, really cold weather and then come back to life. Now, if that's the case, I want to go back to an image from Antarctica. This is one that was one of the more, I don't know what the word is. A lot of people said that it wasn't what I thought it was. It looks exactly like a woolly mammoth. And given that we had somebody go down there and say that they saw woolly mammoths, people were asking me, if that's a woolly mammoth and it's just coming out of the mouth of a cave, okay, what has it been eating this whole time? Maybe it just woke up. Maybe because of the melt down there are animals that have been in a suspended state of animation because of the cold. I've made allegation in other videos that what happened down there happened very, very fast. There was a quick freeze. And all of the different imagery that we've seen of the serpents and the dragons, they might have just now started to kind of wake up. And these things might just now be coming back to life because of the warming. And that would explain what they've been doing this whole time. That maybe they're out now searching for food. It would probably be order of business number one. because there are many other images all in the same regions. And here's the thing, I find most of my discoveries, believe it or not, on glaciers. Because that's what you're looking at here. I'll kind of zoom out. This is a glacier that's got some wind melt, basically wind melt to it. And there's all sorts of stuff that just can't be explained. Like right here, you can see this clear ice, and there's clearly something underneath it. Here as well, I've actually got this one upside down. As you can see, the top head, the lower, the jaw, it's all there. And multiple others as well. This might be what's happening. And it would explain a lot. It really, really would. Especially if the Chinese had got a hold of this. Because, as we know, they're a little bit, well, I'm just going to say it, they're a little off. I mean, anybody who would eat this, and I'm not going to show it, but there's a Twitter video where some girl just pops the whole dead bat in her mouth. It's just beyond anything I could ever comprehend. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Let's take this flying rat that's known to carry just about every deadly disease known to man, and let's soak a big old pot of stew with it. And then let's just gobble that down and see if nothing bad could ever happen there. And of course, this is from RT. So, they're pretty much shooting straight about this. But this could be part of what the big secret is in Antarctica. This is what they're looking to uncover. Something else to eat. And that's really, if you look at the articles, there are people going out collecting these things up and skinning them and selling the meat. You wouldn't catch me eating one, but I suppose if it was that or starve, and also if that's the case, you would then have to make the leap. Well, if there's all of these large serpent, dinosaur, reptile bodies in Antarctica, and they're starting to melt, starting to thaw, a lot of people have asked me, okay, that civilization that you said that's down there, what would they eat? People ask me, how would they survive? What would they drink? Here you go. I wonder how long you could last on frozen brontosaurus steaks. So, it's just something to ponder, or things that you ponder while you're trying to get rid of a fever, I guess. But it would confirm the Bible, which we've done before. It would make sense to what we have seen visually down there. And it would fill in a lot of the blanks of the questions. So I think with those three things, I just brought this up so that, it shows like a lizard here and it shows how little heat they give off. They're very efficient. So I just wanted to cover this because I think this event here in Florida has given us another piece to the puzzle. That in Antarctica, let's see if I can find, there was one more I was looking for and I didn't find it. I'm thinking this was it. This was months ago I found this area with the woolly mammoth. But I'm trying to remember I know someone in the comments will know this. There's a frog out there that does this. That they've literally frozen these things in the solid block of ice. And then, left them overnight and then thawed them out and they were perfectly fine. If that's really the case, then who's to say that's not what's happening down here? It's plenty cold enough. And there's so much unexplored stuff down here. And since we're close to it, I'm going to show this one again. Maybe there's, I know this would be a wild speculation, but maybe there's a serpent-like, cold-blooded humanoid that has been trapped down there, that had the ability to do this, to survive. And maybe that's who we are seeing. And if, like I said, the Chinese or some other government had gone down there and they've crossed paths, that would be something for the history books for sure. But anyway, I guess I will just leave with this image here. Thank you so much again for your patience. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.